Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition, and if you're one of the fans that doesn't mind turning to the dark side and having the upcoming Star Wars movie The Rise of Skywalker ruined, then this is the video for you. In the wake of the recently leaked images that show the film's ending, we have a whole host of new information on the storyline, and throughout this video we're going to be going over all of these leaks as well as our thoughts on what it means for the movie. There will of course be heavy spoilers here, and whilst all leaks like this should be taken with a grain of salt, Disney have been blocking videos on YouTube that show the images, so this pretty much confirms them as being true. I can't put the images in this video because of the aforementioned reason, but we've got enough here that it should give you an idea of what happens in them as well as what it means for the movie. With that out of the way, I just want to give a huge thank you for clicking this video. Now let's get into our Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker breakdown. Okay, so I'm just going to be going through the original leaks and talking about how the reshoots have changed the plot and what it means for the rest of the movie. I already have an extensive breakdown of the leak plot that we got earlier in the year, but if you haven't had a chance to watch that, then don't worry because we'll be covering the majority of it here, as well as how the plot points have changed. These leaks come from Reddit user JediPaxis, who pretty much detailed everything that was shown in the earlier trailers before they even got released, such as the red-eyed C-3PO, the Knights of Ren, and so on, so I think it's safe to say that the user has at least some inside information. Now the user said that the training scene that was originally meant to open the movie, which apparently showed a younger Luke Skywalker training his sister Leia, has been cut. Instead, the beginning of the movie is now going to take place on a planet called Exegol, and here we witness a fleet of Star Destroyers rising from the ground. This was shown in the final trailer, so we know at the very least that this scene has been part of the production process at some point. The user also says that there was an Oracle scene with Kylo Ren that has been removed, and instead of this he will just come across an item in a chest known as the Wayfinder. According to the original leaks, the Wayfinder is the MacGuffin of the movie that can apparently show wherever Palpatine is, and this helps Kylo to find the villain later in the movie. Kylo experiences a Force flash where he hears both Luke and Han's voices before Palpatine's voice overpowers them and calls out to him. Now the scene that preceded this, which involved Kylo savagely killing natives on a planet before getting to the Wayfinder, has apparently been toned down massively, with producers trying to lighten the character up a bit for what's to come at the end of the film, which is basically his redemption. As for the scene with Rey training on the forest planet, this was put in place last minute and wasn't in the original leaks. She, similar to Luke, is frustrated with the process of training and at one point chops down a tree that falls on BB-8. She tries to communicate with Luke as well, but this fails, and she also tries to give Leia Luke's old lightsaber. Kylo manages to find Emperor Palpatine and confronts him, and he's angered by the fact that he has operated in the shadows, even going so far to threaten him. Palpatine doesn't refute that he died on the Death Star, but he also mocks Kylo Ren for saying, "Let the past die." This is kinda JJ shutting down Rian Johnson, I feel, and Palpatine details that the past is the key to the future, talks about Rey's lineage, and the construction of the Sith fleet at the start. He also states that the Empire needs a ruler and that he's back to do it. We don't really get much detail about how he returned, but he is very weak physically, and this ties into the process of regaining his power, which I'll get into later in the leak. We then go to the Resistance, who are being fed information from General Hux on the First Order's plan through a spy named Bulio. This was originally in the leaks, and it looks like Hux has got sick of the fact he's constantly pushed to the side by his new commander, played by Richard E. Grant. Bulio talks about Snoke's rise to power, and he confirms that he wasn't a pawn of the Emperor. He also divulges information on the fleet, and Finn worries that the Empire will once again begin kidnapping children in order to man it. Cut to Kylo Ren, who is aware that there's a mole in the First Order, and he discovers Bulio, who he tortures. Instead of killing him though, he realizes he can use him as a way to draw Rey out, and begins to put a plan in action. The Resistance learn about the Wayfinder through Luke's notes in the Jedi texts, and they go to Basana to seek out a hermit that Luke knew. Whilst there, Rey and Kylo connect through the Force, and Kylo mocks her about her parents, saying that he's the only one who will accept her. Rey tries to warn them that they are coming for them, but it's too late and they get ambushed by stormtroopers, but luckily Lando shows up and helps them. Lando says that he and Luke were looking for Sith artifacts named Ochi, and that they have knowledge on how to use the Wayfinder. Lando also confirms Finn's theory that the First Order are kidnapping children to turn them into stormtroopers. After all this, the First Order appears again, and Lando says the iconic line, "I've got a bad feeling about this." He and the rest of the Resistance fighters flee on speeders as they're pursued by the First Order and the Knights of Ren. Most of them get away except for those on the Millennium Falcon, which includes Chewbacca. The ones that do make it away discover that Ochi was a Sith assassin and that he wielded a Sith dagger that has writing on it. Now we know this dagger is in the movie because we see Rey holding it at one point in the final trailer, so we can guess that this is correct in the leak. Rey says that it's tradition for the Sith to write secrets on their weapons, and C-3PO can apparently read this. He is unable to translate it because his programming forbids it, but he overrides this in order to do it. This is why he has red eyes in the second trailer, and why he also talks about not getting to look at his friends again in the more recent one. The leak then says that we get details of Poe Dameron's past, in which he was a spice runner with Kerry Russell's character, Zori Bliss. She is now working with the Resistance and hands over a First Order security medallion that allows them to gain access to ships in their fleet. Rey senses Chewie is still alive and has been transported to Kylo Ren's Star Destroyer, so the group hatch a plan to go and get him. While on the Star Destroyer, Rey finds Ochi's dagger. This scene is similar to when she picked up Luke's lightsaber in The Force Awakens, and she gets it after she has a vision. The vision shows Ochi assassinating her parents as they attempt to hide her, and this confirms that the Sith knew about Rey. Kylo Ren then shows up and details that Ochi was meant to take Rey away, but her parents stopped this, and he talks about the truth of her family. The group manage to escape the ship, but they learn the location of the Resistance and show up and kill lots of them, including Leia. Following her death, Palpatine grows more confident and decides that now is the time to make his move. They uncover how to get to Exegol, and Rey heads there whilst the Resistance fleet and Millennium Falcon head off in different directions. They want to take the First Order head on and buy Rey time so that she can kill Palpatine. Upon arriving at Exegol and encountering Palpatine, Rey is about to strike him down. According to the leaks, Palpatine's actual plan was to have Rey kill him and take his place as the leader of the Empire, but in the very last second, she senses Ren has been betrayed by the Knights of Ren because they secretly work for Palpatine and he has no more use for him. She initiates a force bond and passes a lightsaber to him, which allows him to fight and defeat them. Now originally the leaks said that Palpatine became Matt Smith after possessing his body, however according to the new ones, the reshoots have changed this so that the character that Matt Smith plays is only used to rejuvenate Palpatine, and now he is once again played by Ian McDiarmid. Rey slowly begins to get drained of her force powers to rejuvenate Palpatine, who then slowly begins to launch the Sith fleet. The Resistance arrive just in time to take them head on, and whilst Rey is being drained, she reaches out to other Jedi that have become one with the Force. This includes Obi-Wan, Leia and Luke. Now the original leak said that they made an appearance here, but according to the new details, only their voices can be heard. Together with the help of Kylo, who has now embraced Ben Solo again and has a blue lightsaber that is said to be Anakin's, the two are able to defeat Palpatine and end the Sith. In the end, Lando and the reinforcements provided by Zori Bliss take the Sith fleet on, and Finn manages to trick the First Order into turning their cannons on themselves, which destroys the fleet. Having won the day, the survivors celebrate, and this continues across the galaxy, similar to the end of Return of the Jedi. The heroes return to Tatooine where it all began, and Rey has deconstructed both Luke and Anakin's lightsaber and retooled them to make one that contains a yellow blade. Rey buries the leftover pieces at Luke's home, and she turns round to see her friends. A stranger asks who she is and why she's come here, and Rey answers by saying Rey Skywalker. The group all look off into the twin sunsets, and we see the Force ghosts of some familiar faces beside them, staring out over a galaxy full of hope, which ends the film. And that's all of the leaks that we have. Honestly, it sounds like a big improvement over the initial bunch that we got, but I can't help feeling that there are some certain plot elements that just don't work, and I still feel like Palpatine probably should have been left out of this film. This is about new characters, a new trilogy, and overall it seems too tied to the originals to truly stand on its own 2 feet. They've also turned down Kylo so much that it feels like a neutering of the character. I mean, this is a guy who murdered his own father, and now all of a sudden he can be the good guy. Yeah, it just doesn't really work for me, but I do know that this is all about execution, so who knows, JJ might be able to pull it off. There are some good moments in here, but I will admit, on the whole, it sounds more in line with The Last Jedi rather than The Force Awakens, which in my opinion is the better of the 2 movies. I guess we will see come December, but at the moment I'm not getting my hopes up too high, as we really don't know where this could go. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on these leaks, and if they have you any more or less excited for the film. Comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video then please like it, and make sure you check out my breakdown on the best theories as to how Palpatine survived. In it we go over the ways that make the most sense, so definitely check it out if this video has piqued your interest. It talks about the original Matt Smith plans as well, so it's definitely worth checking out if you want to know more. If you want to come chat to me after the video, then make sure you follow me on Twitter at DefinitionYT, or head over to my Discord server, which will be linked in the description below. Those are the best ways to keep up to date with all the latest videos, so hopefully I see you over there very soon. We're also giving away a free copy of the Marvel Phase 3 Part 1 box set on Blu-ray, which contains Civil War, Doctor Strange, Homecoming, Ragnarok and more, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts on the Star Wars leaks in the comments below. The winner is going to be chosen at random on the 15th of November, and the set will be shipped out from then to whoever gets the prize, so best of luck to everyone who takes part. This is a channel for people who are mad into movies, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this. I've been Definition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.